Today I will introduce Sivga's Audio K earphones. Like, share and comment. For more videos, more people's support and subscription are needed. I looked up the brand Sivga, which is a Chinese brand. In fact, I saw many models of headphones and earphones on the website. I didn't know this brand before, so this is my first time to contact this brand. So its design is look classic. So this Sivga headphone, its Chinese translation is K. Why? Because of its sound, it is said to be the world's first design. It is relatively special. How is the glass diaphragm made as a unit? In fact, the material of ordinary 10mm units is some glue-like objects as far as I know, but this time the glass design is used to change the material. The shape of the entire headset is that the IEM design is those two-piece plugs or other designs are relatively simple. Its appearance is relatively light and I would say it has a metallic feel. It should be made by CNC. And the color of the wood on the outside is reported to be made of white maple. I don't know if it actually affects the sound quality of the earphones, but judging from the appearance, it actually gives a very comfortable and natural feeling. In terms of the shape of the headphones. Okay, let's talk about the specifications first. The frequency response is 20 Hz to 20 kHz, and the impedance is quite difficult to push to 32, plus or minus 15%. And the sensitivity is 108 dB plus or minus 3. The unit with a glass diaphragm adopts a single dynamic design, with 2 pins. Let's do a listening test. First, I listened to Amy Macdonald's Solo Water. Actually, there was sound when it was turned on, but the sound was not very loud even if I turned up the volume to half. So I pushed it to almost 70% or 80% of the volume before I started to feel that it was turned up. This earphone's little hard to drive it. After the change, the sound may become more natural after a while, and it may be less easy to push. Well, let's talk about the overall stereo sound of this Amy Macdonald. It is a very special sound effect. The high frequency is actually very round and clear, and it is verdant and exquisite, just like the name of the jerk she created, the name of the headphones. The sound is crisp, and the mid-low frequency is average. But I would like to mention that this time the earphones are taking a slightly restored high-end route, without sound coloration, and not too much bass. Don't think this earphones is perfect for all kinds of rock and pop. When I listened to the singing version of Amy Macdonald, I actually felt the girl's youthfulness, rich stereo and relatively wide sound field. Then with the glass diaphragm, her high notes are a bit special, they are refreshing, direct and crisp. This sound has never appeared in the past with dynamic iron, dynamic coil or even flat panel, so it is quite surprising in terms of high frequency and mid-range. Next is the singing version of Kennedy G Live. Just like the Amy Macdonald on my head, the stereo sound or singing feeling also brings you a very fresh and crisp feeling. If you have a lot of earphones around you, such as dynamic and balanced armature headphones, or even tablets, the high and mid-range frequencies may not be as crisp, refreshing, and clean as those mentioned above. So if you like stereo and crisp sound lines, I think this earphones it is quite special when I heard the second song, and it is worth a try. When it comes to the bass part. The bass part is the richness of the overall stereo of Dusty Bottle, and the female sound is also clearer. But as I said, the positioning of these earphones is not very focused on the low frequency, so it has low frequency but it is lightly passed, not too heavy metal, and it may not be able to bring out the original flavor of heavy metal or those good pop songs. Maybe you need to idealize the EQ, or you need to add a little bass, it will create more bass for you. If we do not add EQ to the ideal, it is actually the true restoration of the details in the song, or the whole song's beat connection, which is crisp and clear. Listening to the piano sound is quite special, the voice is crisp and fast, and the clarity is quite high. I don't know if it is because it uses a unit made of glass material, so all the high and medium frequencies of the sound are still very crisp and clear, different, really different from the static. So there is no big ditch, but it sounds very personal. In fact, if you listen to some dynamic coils, or balanced irons, or dynamic irons and balanced magnifiers, it is good, or even flat panels. It seems that I am listening to flat panels now, and the refreshing feeling may not be obtained on flat panels. So in fact, if you listen to it, I think until now, if you listen to some relatively static music that is not so strong, it actually has a lot of flavor for you. Listen to an older song by Madonna. Overall, I think when listening to an old song like this, it doesn't emphasize the bass, but emphasizes the atmosphere. On the contrary, this headset does a very good job. Even if I use this headset, put it back and listen to it with another headset, of course, the two voices are restored. But I prefer this headset at this moment to give you a refreshing high-frequency satisfaction, so the whole process is quite crisp and delicate. You will feel that when you listen to that song, you have changed to another good style. Why do you say that? It's also good to change the headset or speaker to another style of interpretation. It is another way of interpretation, which will definitely please you to continue using this headset. I heard this song by Lu Meijun, which is a relatively old song. On the contrary, I think it plays the bass part which is not emphasized nowadays. It is very detailed and comfortable to listen to, just like you put a pair of standing speakers in front of you to listen to the song, which is very comfortable. And the last sentence is that I really want to praise its high and mid-range parts for being restored very well, which is refreshing. It seems that there are some speakers and diamond unit tweeters, which give you crisp and delicate high frequencies. The overall headset is comfortable to wear, but I don't know if it's because of the ear gel. There are some problems with sound insulation. I think if you change the right ear gel, the sound insulation is actually very good. Because the back is really not heavy, and it won't bend into your ears or cochlea. As for the sound quality, I think it is similar to what I said above. The sound quality is very similar to that of KEF or ALAC speakers. It focuses on high-frequency reproduction and does not give you a very heavy bass. It is a pure and comfortable environment to play this song for you. So I just emphasized that this headset may not be more perfect in pop songs, but if you say that in terms of pop songs, if you don't count the heavy bass. On the contrary, you will love this earphones and enjoy listening to it. As for if you say that this earphones is definitely not suitable for heavy metal or rock songs, but for classics, or some lighter songs without a lot of heavy bass, I think you will hear a completely different tone from this earphones, which allows you to continue to focus on listening to the song and let everyone perform together, so I think this song is worth meeting everyone. That's all for today's introduction. Bye. Like, share and comment. For more original power to make videos, more people's support and subscription are needed.